Traffic was whizzing along on I-71 Saturday, headed to Kentucky Speedway. What a contrast that was to the nightmare of 2011, nicknamed Carmageddon.
Difference between night and day. The facility's done an amazing job. I'm ecstatic.
Once drivers hit the exit ramp to Kentucky 35, they were put into assigned lanes and told to keep moving. Last year, there were just 3 lanes to handle the volume. This year, Kentucky 35 was widened to 6 lanes to speed things up.
We assumed we'd be sitting in traffic and ended up not having any problems at all. It was an hour from Green Township to here.
Parking was quick and efficient with 20,000 new spaces, Kentucky State Troopers in charge of each lot, and double the number of attendants.
Right behind the gray truck! Right behind the gray truck!
Many fans who came early had gotten free tickets to this year's race because of last year's problems.
That's really the only reason we came back, is because we got free ones for this year. But I mean, if it's like this every year, I'll continue to come back.
Keith Frank got one of those tickets and came back early to tailgate, but most of his family stayed home.
I think they stayed away because of the heat and traffic.
The gates opened at noon. There was free entertainment all day. A water truck sprayed young and old to beat the heat. Misting tents were set up to keep fans cool. Medical assistance was quickly available. Changes to the event were a year in the making, and the progress made was evident.
This year our traffic plan was put in place and we were in charge of parking. It all came together. If Kentucky 35 is empty at race time, that means that everybody is in here enjoying the race, and that's what we want.
It's 7:44 Saturday night, and the green flag is about to drop for the Quaker State 400 here at Kentucky Speedway. But out in front of the track on Kentucky 35, there are no incoming vehicles, none at all. That means the traffic and parking changes made over the past year have worked. They were needed, since this is what Route 35 looked like as the 2011 race started. Route 35 was widened from 3 to 7 lanes, and 20,000 new parking spaces were added. Brian Messerschmidt and friends were among the last arrivals and parked very close to the track.
I think they took last year to heart. I think on the NASCAR circuit, it was a little bit of a black eye. NASCAR really coming to Kentucky was a big deal, but we kind of screwed up a little bit. But this year, I think they've taken all the right steps to make it better, and I think it shows. I think everybody's here and they're ready to see a great race.
And see a great race they did. The focus was back on the track instead of the highway.
I figured we'd be sitting on the side of the highway for a little while trying to get through. Everything was smooth, no traffic stops whatsoever.
Kentucky State Police took over traffic command. The goal was to keep vehicles moving and park cars closer together.
Follow him!
The number of parking attendants was doubled.
We left about an hour earlier this year than we did last year, and we arrived and parked about 6 hours earlier than we were last year. So do the math, it's much better.
Then there was Alan Bloom, who missed the inaugural race due to the Carmageddon. I profiled him as he mailed in his form for a free ticket to this year's event. Like tens of thousands of others, he breezed into the parking lots with nary a stop.
Oh, I think they did a great job. Whatever they did different, it's working for sure. So I'm pleased with it. I probably would come back.
Credit Kentucky State Police with the right mix of people, parking, and pavement patrols.
Yes, it did work. Like I said, that was all part of the plan. We needed more people out here. We needed to change the plans, and everything came together.
Despite this year's success, it's a safe bet that the traffic and parking plan is going to be closely scrutinized over the next year to see if more improvements can be made to enhance the fan experience. Tom McKee, 9 News at the Kentucky Speedway. Last year, for the first Quaker State 400, Kentucky Route 35 was just 3 lanes and crowded with vehicles and pedestrians long after the race started. But this year it's been widened to 5 lanes plus 2 shoulders, and Kentucky State Police say that's one of the reasons traffic flow should be much better this year. But KSP leaders say parking is the most important job on race day.
The key to the whole plan is keeping the traffic moving and getting the cars parked in an efficient manner.
20,000 new spots have been added, bringing the total available to 35,800. A new parking firm will have 300 attendants on duty, double last year's amount. KSP will have a trooper in every lot to prevent problems that occurred in 2011.
Cars were parked too far apart. They had their tents out, weight tray. It was just, there was a lot of extra space through proper management. We could have parked a whole lot more cars than we did last year.
Trucks and other commercial vehicles are being urged to find alternative routes and stay off I-71 on race days.
Commercial vehicles are just bigger. When they're getting in with the race traffic, it's hard to merge, it's hard to see. So if we can eliminate having those in there, we think that'll help a lot.
After the race, infield traffic will be held for 90 minutes and traffic outside the speedway will be held for 30 minutes.
The commingling of vehicle traffic and pedestrian traffic can present some problems, and so we are trying to allow as many pedestrians to get to their vehicles and off the roadway as possible.
Traffic updates will be posted every half hour on Facebook, Twitter, regular media, and radio station AM 1620, which can be received within 5 miles of the track. Everyone believes that the millions of dollars in improvements and the year of planning should shift the focus from the roads outside the track to inside the speedway.
This year, I guarantee you, will be better than last year, without a doubt.
Tom McKee, 9 News in Sparta. If you plan on being in your seat on time to watch the green flag drop to start the Quaker State 400, track officials have 2 words of advice. Come early. That was the advice Monday from track officials so fans can have more fun.
There's tons of stuff going on. We've got the gates opening up now at noon. Last year, gates didn't open until 2 o'clock. We've got pre-race concerts. We've got concerts up on the concourse stage before we even open the gates.
This is the only kind of bumper-to-bumper traffic Speedway officials want you to see. Not this. Jammed roads and too few parking spaces. About 10,000 people didn't get to see all or part of the race last year, and most got new tickets for this year's race.
I think we've got about 8,000 of them coming back here to wanting to come to Kentucky.
The track cut the ribbon Monday on big improvements to parking and traffic. Kentucky 35 has been significantly widened to get traffic off I-71 faster. Over 170 acres have been turned into 20,000 new all-weather parking spaces. A new pedestrian tunnel under Kentucky 35 improves fan safety. Kentucky spent over $3 million and the track close to $8 million on the improvements.
We have done a lot to improve the situation, and I feel confident that folks are going to have a great time.
More fans means more revenue for Kentucky businesses around the track and throughout Greater Cincinnati.
I'm confident that it's well over $100 million in economic impact each year that we do this.
Track officials say ticket sales are picking up and a sellout of 107,000 fans is possible. Tom McKee, 9 News, Sparta, Kentucky.